Major question here in the county. Would you like to take that one?
A couple of years ago, the Freeholder Board put through a very tough pay-to-play ordinance, which I signed. There then was some rethinking on the part of the freeholders, and they put through an ordinance to overturn that, which I vetoed, but they overrode my veto. And I guess the reason they overrode the veto is because the first time it was working, and the kinds of contributions that were so pervasive until 4 years ago that were really corrupting county government had stopped. And for some reason, you have to ask the freeholders, because I don't want to overstate what it is, but I vetoed that legislation, and they overrode my veto, so we don't have the same strict pay-to-play legislation that was in effect a couple of years ago. I have said from the very beginning that you need a statewide pay-to-play ban, because doing it piecemeal is not as effective. But the one we had in place, which the freeholders changed, was working. And that's really a shame for everybody who believes in good government, as I do.
Jeff?
The first thing I did when I got into office, the first vote I took, was to strengthen pay-to-play. And Chuck, I was here last year, I sat here, and you said to me, well, we'll see what you do. Well, I'm here tonight to tell you, you saw what I did, and you said that to me. I believe in pay-to-play. I believe that it needs to be strengthened by the Senate, by the state legislature. But let me give you an example about the county executive and how she wields money from a federal super PAC called GoPAC, and whose New Jersey chairman is a political boss from Ocean County, and whom she had on her transition team. The Star Ledger profiled exactly how that account is being used to bypass campaign finance laws, and Kathy Donovan is part of that. This is part of a pattern. The county executive is not telling the truth, and she has even taken money from vendors doing work on independent authorities, taking advantage of a legal loophole that we have.
Jim? The only response that I'll make is the first part where you said you strengthen pay-to-play. I think we need to look at that ordinance, because I overrode it, and you guys, I vetoed it, you overrode the veto. It weakened the pay-to-play in the county. You can say whatever you want, but it weakened the pay-to-play.
I'll turn to Mr. Powers, because I know Mr. Powers knows that it was strengthened. We rolled it back to the original limits, and we increased the penalties. So yes, we did strengthen it. Maybe you should learn about the ordinance.
I'm trying to understand this. One of the things that just got played back and forth here is the fact that there are issues at the state level that need fixing. What is the role of the county in getting those issues fixed? I'm trying to figure out. There's been a lot of pushing back to the freeholders with your support. County executive pushed very hard for a much strengthened state pay-to-play law. Explain to us why it is that that is a state responsibility and not a county one.
Counties can do certain things, but if you want to do, if you want the same thing to apply in Ocean County, in Monmouth County, in Passaic County as does in Bergen, you're going to have it on a state legislative level, and that's as simple as I can make it. I think it makes it much more difficult for people to do anything else. Following the rules is important, but there are some places where you can't figure out what the rules are, or you think you're following the rules and then there's a problem. So what I have said from the very beginning is you need a state pay-to-play ban in effect.
We do need a statewide pay-to-play ban, and the reason we need it is because from county to county, it differs, and the people that have to try to abide by it are confused and sometimes make errors. If you had a statewide pay-to-play ordinance or law, then everybody across the state of New Jersey would understand it. It should also apply to Board of Education, any elected office, or anyone that makes decisions about hiring people or hiring professionals. It should cover. And if there was one, we wouldn't be sitting up here talking about this today. we would be talking about other issues that are important to the county. But because there isn't one, we voted on one last year, we strengthened it, and we rolled it back to the original dollar amounts. So I'm proud of that. But at the end of the day, we need a statewide ordinance.
You settle on that? Running through this part of eastern Bergen County, through about 11 communities here, is one heck of a lot more Bakken oil coming out of Canada, heading for Linden, and it looks as if a lot more is going to be coming through here. It's not actually a county responsibility. It goes to the Federal Department of Transportation and to CSX, which is a quasi-public entity already. What is it that the county should be doing to make sure that, A, we understand enough about what's going on to be able to protect ourselves, and B, should be doing something to help communities get ready for the potential of a major explosion, and C, is there any additional effort the county should be making to restrict what comes through the eastern part of the county? Who wants that? You want that?
Sure. The oil tankers that are coming through are very important, or of a very important concern. Let me put it more carefully than that. We have, our OEM got on it right away, our county OEM, and they are prepared if we have a disaster. But to prevent that from happening, on October 20th, and you may all have gotten this notice already, but on October 20th, all our Bergen County towns, our police and fire chiefs are invited to a summit meeting at the county building. Let me not say that, it might be up in Mohawk, but we have a meeting coming on October 20th, and we can get the information. If you don't have it, we can get it to you. But we have that planned. On Friday, I spoke with Jamie Foxx, who is the new Department of Transportation Commissioner here in New Jersey, and I told him of our concern and how we wanted to make sure that people were paying attention to it, because it is a potentially devastating problem here in Bergen County. And Commissioner Foxx assured me that he was on top of it, that he also shared our concern, and he was working on his end with the federal government to be involved. And we have gotten, I think, 1 or 2 follow-up calls from Jamie over the last day or two to let us know that he's on top of it. Very important.
As I said earlier, being a firefighter for 38 years, these are the things that as a firefighter you train on and you train for. And also being the Deputy Coordinator Office of Emergency Management, it's something that it's very close to me. And responding to these types of emergencies, our first responders have to have all the information in their hands. It can't be locked up in some office. It can't be in the state office. It can't be in a county office. It needs to be in the fire truck going to the disaster. And that's what I'm calling for. I'm calling for the information that we've been able to receive from Bakken and from CSX to be put into the first responders' hands, to the people that are responding there, not the OEM. The OEM is a support agency. They're a planning agency. You need to have it in the hands of the first responders so they know what type of foam to use or what type of chemical extinguishment to use. You have to have the information where it belongs. Second thing we have to do is we have to mandate that the only time the oil will be transported through Bergen County is in double wall tankers. That's what we should be pushing for, because then that prevents that from happening.
Is that something the county should be pushing the Department of Transportation at the federal level to be doing more quickly? Because, as you know, the amount of time that's going to be taking to get what are now sort of second-class tank cars because of the huge increase in volume to something that would be protected with the double wall is substantial. We're probably talking 10 years. Is that something that the county should be, is that the bullet issue that we're talking about?
I believe it is. I believe that's exactly what this position should be doing. They have double wall tankers already. You can also retrofit the newer tankers that are single wall. So it would be my position to say nothing comes into Bergen County unless they're on retrofitted tankers or double wall tankers. That would be the position I would take as the county executive.
Keep in mind, everybody, this is not a county level. problem. If we could solve that, we would, and Jim and I agree on that, but you've got to work with the state, as they did with Jimmy Fox. You got to work with the federal government. It is not an issue that the county can control because we don't run the railroads. Double wall tankers are great. Knowing what to do in the situation, and we're saying pretty much the same thing, is very, very important. So if anybody has a role to play in this and you want to come to the October 20th meeting, see me later and I'll make sure you get the information on the freeholder. I'm sure you're going to come.
All right, I'd like to make sure that everybody recognizes, and I'm not sure that I recognize all the public officials that are here. Incumbent Joan Voss is here from the freeholder board. Running this year are Maura Di Nicola and Tracy Zur, and one of the candidates for freeholder, Bob Avery. Is he still here? There are a number of public officials here. I'll note the fact that the husband of our mayor here in Teaneck, Tony Parker, is here tonight. And Councilman Jason Castle and Councilman Alan Tone are here. I believe Board of Education member Howard Rose. I'm trying to figure out if there's anybody else here. I don't believe there's anybody else from the Board of Education. If you are, let me know.
That's Councilman Gary Sher.
Oh, I didn't see him. Good. Gary Sher is here. The mayor of the Borough of Lodi is here. Mark Sheet. Angus Scott, councilman from the Borough of Ridgewood, is here. And who else am I missing? Anybody else?
Angus Todd from Richfield.
I'm sorry. Did I say Angus Todd from Richfield? What? Ridgefield. The same place that Mr. Avery is from, as a matter of fact. So, is it nobody else? Okay, we'll keep on going. And I've been picking up from a number of green cards that I have received, both at the beginning and in the middle, many of the questions that we were going to turn to and ask more specifically from the cards. But what I'd like to do at this point is take the next 15 or 20 minutes to ask any of you who has a really burning question to ask either of these candidates, and we'll